big end-to-end point there. As Austria turns it, Germany gets it back. Germany turns it. Or Germany gets it back, hucks it full field. And we're now looking at perhaps the starts of a small comeback. So those of you who are watching our stream and are talking about the Ulti-Apps tournament schedule, yes, some of your suggestions will be taken into account. Local time will be implemented as well tonight sometime. I'm hoping for Matt, and that'll make it a little bit more friendly for you. Some Australian players warming up, playing a little bit of Flutter Guts. You know, I wonder what I could do if I yelled gecko right now. Would it actually result in them finding a wall? But back to the game. Germans coming down hard. It's in a man. And good man defensive pressure here. They're deep in their end zone. Normally you'd expect this with a zone, but there's just been some very hard one-on-one defense here. Letting up a little bit. And a poach offense goes high. This should be a turnover. And it is. My goodness, the vertical on him. That was fantastic one-on-one defense. Sometimes you have to just go out and get the disc. Floated out to the middle of the field. Now for their good one-on-one defense, Germans having a little bit of an issue now, and that's how you break out of a zone. But then a great decision with that, well, good decision, but bad execution with that put. I know I've done that many a time. It's no criticism, simply an honest opinion. Okay, we're probably going to restart our stream. Oh, big flick. It's come out quite a bit up the field a little bit. Call from the sideline, calling another handler back, going three handlers because they are showing a zone. A little bit of an adjustment. One deep player sneaking around. Wide open on this side. Not taking that, going through the middle. And there's no opportunity there in that hole. That popper simply isn't there. Melt called. Or is it? Not as of yet. Standing on the line now. End zone called. But playing an end zone against a zone, not super effective, but on a vertical stack, and Austria creates the turn on the line. Oh, good break there. Threading the line, looking to huck it deep. Ooh, trailing catch there on a pick call. Big bid there. Looks like a tie. And then risky throw, but well read. Hammer pulls it down. And Austria, with excellent patience, move it up the field. We're going to go check in the stream again.
You guys know, is the beer garden already open? I don't know if they even opened it today. Oh.
It was open.
It was?
Yeah.
It probably still is then.
I think it might still be open.
Is everyone just scared of me? Talking about mafia? You and Simon are first round kills every time.
I was only killed first round, I think, once.
Really? Yeah. Every time
And then, like, once I started blabbering,
I'm pretty sure every time I was Mafia, I killed you immediately. I can hold that in my lap. You want to put them in Mackie or something?
yeah, sure. I just couldn't. It was just like, hey! That's not really gonna work.
Good?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, it's just the man in the
Those of you watching on mobile, I'm back. To those of you hopefully now on the live stream. Austria's zone has been creating wonderful chances for them on offense. I think that's about the best thing we can say here is that Germany's been slicing through, making it move quite well, and then one errant throw causes issues. German women's team, after having warmed down from their last game of the day, I believe there might be one, no, it was the last game of the day for them. Take a parade lap with a grand flag. Austria, defensively, I think we can expect a zone from them again. It should be a zone coming from them here. And just gonna be turning up the audio here a little bit. That makes sense. Looks a little bit better. So to those of you watching the stream, thank you for joining us. Have quite a few messages from everyone. We are trying to fix all the issues. Unfortunately, much like last week, we do not have consistent internet here. Another zone, and this and this is what we've been talking about, is just how well Austria has been playing to shut that down. And a tip there, clutch D. Germany cannot afford to go down 6-1 at this time. They're calling for a spread out to go into horizontal here. It looks like a man, but I would not be surprised if Austria stayed in their zone, and they do. And a lucky break there. Just needs to dump. And these are the issues, is that you see a quick little flip, but it's not necessarily going where the players expect it. Bowled over, play will come to a stop. She appears to be okay though. Good wide open movement here, and that's what happens against the zone. And then still sticking to the zone. This is the issue we see. Over the top, but easily intercepted. Big huck. Oh, and that's a good one. It's floating just outside the end zone. Now they're a little bit. Germany over the top. This is good. Oh my. And here's we're going to have to double check. He might have jumped from out of bounds, or they're saying, where did you land? He's saying elbow. It looked good from up here. And a turnover called. Great spirit here. slice through the middle, down the sideline. Good aggressive grab there. It needed to be done. It's the off-balance throws. I think that's the issue from the German side, is lots of throws in motion, a few off-balance throws. But that's a good steady pass. Good safe pass, right back to the middle. This is the movement, but he could have moved it there on the sideline. Oh, we put through the middle, and unfortunately, bit of miscommunication. Needed to be a bit more bladey. Austria now calls timeout, and we're going to take a quick break as well to check on the stream.
Hey, Fresh, we got to put your car back in the volunteer lot, so I'll bring the keys back out.
And we're back again. Fantastic run from midfield to get the D. Great speed from the Austrian side. Once again, a little bit winded here. Just running up and down. Lots of deep options, gets a hand block. That's a big hand block, and he's open now, but centered. Big D again. We're seeing this pressure from both sides. They can play good defense. So far, only Austria's been able to play the good offense. And Austria, 6-1. Or I think at least it's 6-1. Waiting for a bit of a score update. Yes, indeed, 6-1. If you are watching, you're still continuing to experience problems, please refresh. We have published a new stream which should hopefully resolve issues. During halftime, we'll go and test again, and we're going to keep the stream running right through to the showcase game. Balancing of sidelines now being done by the Austrians. They have brought what looks like 3 lines for their mixed squad. Two deep cutters here, but I think it's one too few handlers here. Against the zone. Good flow. And that's the problem right there, is these throws that are in motion. You could see it every single pass down the field. They were either reaching behind them or a little bit too far in front of them. There were very few that were to the body or in a comfortable distance to catch. It was almost as if the next motion would be the one that would cause them to lay out. And then the spinning move at the end to throw another inflow throw, unfortunately out of the reach and goes a little bit too long. Austria now get a chance. There's a call, offensive foul, just twisting on the mark, caused a little bit of contact. A huck deep is an option here. There's one strong player available deep. And there it goes. Oh, and attempted, but it's a little slow getting up. And we're going to have a little bit, maybe a small delay here. He seems to be okay. And he's okay. It's good to see. We had a bit of an incident last game where an Australian player was down for quite a while. He seems to be up and okay now. Does not appear to necessarily have a concussion. And they're trapped on the sideline. And this is... And the hammer just out of reach. The wind might have pushed that a little bit as well. Another zone here, or not a zone, but, well, it does appear to be really poachy as well. And we should see a puck here, and it's floaty. Do we contention? Yeah, under contest. No problem for the German defender. Once again, this Austrian zone keeping them trapped. You can see how collapsed this zone is, and the Germans are allowing that zone to be that tight. And here's a jailbreaker, at least it should be, and held back. And now they're trapped again on the line, but good movement. They're getting more confidence, but every pass, probability for turnover remains. And right into the defender. Bit of a chat over there, might be. And it is a turnover. Would not be surprised to see a hammer at some point. Instead, a nice over-the-top throw. She tried it before. This time around, she had lots of space, and it worked out well. Austria running away with this one.
Is it 7-1 correct?
So Richard Gotler from Germany, your game is now available. However, some manners would be nice on the email.
Eigentlich schon. Ich will nur nicht reingenommen, ich kann auch nichts dafür. Draufgestanden.
Another turn. And a turn right back the other way. And sorry, I'm just replying to this email, a very rude email that came in, and I apologize on stream, but I do try to reply to every email that you do send. And I do apologize if you're having stream issues. We're having connectivity issues. Good D there from Germany. And gets it in the end zone. That was an important sequence. They got it far down the field. They put their own zone on. And now maybe the Germans are thinking a little bit of zone. And 7-2. Austrians moving it quickly here. There's a strike, and they put it up. German positioned well. And lots of players underneath. 5-on-2 situation. And the zone goes right back on. Germans with a shot. It's a low pass. And well taken. And the deep D comes in. There's a call. And just a little bit of contact. Good spirit there. Again, these youngsters who aren't quite so young anymore are playing remarkably spirited as well. They're having good discussions, and this has been with all teams so far. The players have been spirited while the coaches might be a little bit more animated. The German coach here trying to get his defense engaged a little bit more. The zone holding them right now. There's a tempting pass on the top right. But these four handlers, nobody popping though. And here's where we start to see that motion with the middle handlers. If we get that motion, we should see the movement. It's good for her to come back there as well. She's staying away from the sideline so she's not trapped. Got double teamed there. Reset. And they haven't lost any position with that sequence. Pops it. Over the top. It's a good position. He's tempted to throw it over the top, but holds it back. And this is where it's going to happen. And great D by Germany. A foul called, and I don't agree with that necessarily. Unfortunately, the angle isn't the best that we have. Really felt like the German player had a better angle at that and got to it first and got the D. And it's a turnover. Way to talk it out. And that's a good D right back. And that's the problem, is that this Austrian zone is so keyed in. And really well thrown there as well with the hammer. Perfect timing. The wind didn't come in. And now we see Austria. A little bit of confusion about the score here. Should be 8-2 is what we're seeing. Thank you to all those supporters that are writing in. And as I said, this isn't an issue of some people are getting frustrated. I agree, our quality for stream isn't that great. Thank you to those that are watching and continuing to enjoy it. I wish I could get you a better stream quality. You know that I brought that to you before. Unfortunately, we're still working on a nice fat internet connection, and when that does come through, everyone will get a really nice high quality stream. And a gust of wind, and great effort there to try and get to it, but a gust of wind just pops it up and out of reach. For those who are watching from home and a little bit frustrated with the stream, it is going to be on YouTube later. It might not be the whole game. It might be missing the first few points, but the higher quality recording will be on YouTube. Austria now bringing it back to the front of the end zone. Oh, and that just floats out long enough and gets a big grab and then a ground strip. And he's going to move it quickly, and he needs to. And there's no deep cutter. Good effort on the sideline. And the zone is back on. There's no deep cutters, but there are 4 players deep, 3 players deep now. 1 mid available, and that's who it goes to. And good pickup there. A little bit of juggling. A lot of good patience here. Unfortunately, trapped on the sideline. There's no movement down the field. And that's what we're looking at. There needs to be poppers, but they're all going the same way. It's almost as if they're cutting against a man with a vertical stack offense. And you need someone that's just running back and forth in there, kind of snaking. And when they snake one direction or the other, you use it to overload a single player in the zone. Good crossfield pass. Oh, good one-hand grab, confident there. Just flips it into the air. And after being denied the first one, she takes the second one. And that should be 8-3, Austria leading. Now this German team seems very young compared to the other German teams that I've seen here. I know many of these German players from playing in Europe, admittedly at a single tournament, but also from their time in juniors and worlds. But what I have seen is that at least the German Open team, they are a strong, fast, very good at playing against the zone. And I saw that on Friday when during a kind of a warm-up game they played Grand Trunk, which is one of the local Toronto teams. And also against Maverick, which is a top 4 Canadian Open team. And there were close games in both of those sides. And the zone that was put on was essentially ineffective against the Germans. And it was ineffective because they were patient. They organized very quickly to a 4-man offense popping against that zone and handlers moving it around. So I think this team, to me, feels much younger, looks a lot younger than the German Open team that I've seen. Now, on Saturday, I hosted a friendly between New Zealand and German women. And in that one, it was a runaway success for Germany. It was a little bit windy, but the German women, again, very effective, had a very good zone. So perhaps they have a little bit more chemistry on that side compared to this team against the Austrians. Now take a look at number 42 at the bottom. who's now in the middle. He's marking up man on man, and then he's passing off. He pointed off right there just to pass off the player. Now he's looking around, making it sure, and he's looking around again. And it's that looking around that is so important against when you're playing zone defense. It's because you need to see where the play is going. Now from the Austrian side, what you can see is that it's a very collapsed zone, so the short passes aren't available. And the deep passes, they've really cut off the middle area of the field to throw the passes through. So you have to swing it to the side and then up the field. We can see with the German side, there's more space in the middle of the field right there. You can see that big area that now a thrower can come into, or a runner can come into, and it goes right to him. And once again, he's in that space, but there's this large empty space here on the left-hand side. While it's motioned to, we aren't seeing a player in that space until now. And this time around, oh, that's a good grab. But we're seeing that collapse a little bit more, so it's going to come back. It's going to move from side to side, and then we should see that pass here into the middle. But there was good D right there to cover that player. You might see a timeout here from Austria. And that's a mismatch position right there. And good fill to take that away. Defense or offense slowed up a little bit, moved to the side. But now with the Austrian D, as you can see, there aren't those open spaces. Oh, and that's a great pass in and great sequence. They had to go over the top. And that's how you beat a zone, over the top. Cheers of Deutschland. And Germany makes it 8-4. So I hope you are enjoying the stream. It should be a little bit more stable now.
I'll be like, woo! No, I'm joking. I have another hoodie.
All right, I have completed my email correspondence with Richard Gotler, and I do apologize. I think there is something lost in translation, and I have worked with Germans before, and absolutely there can be a difference in word usage without any intended harm. So I apologize. I hope you do enjoy the stream. I absolutely will not get discouraged. Thank you for those who have written in for encouragement. It's not a discouragement. I will do this even if nobody is watching, simply because it does need to be done. And I'm happy to do it. I think part of the issue can end up being is that you're out here in the sun all day, and also the mindset. So great to see the group of 5 as well who are watching in Germany. Christoph Newman. I hope you do enjoy this stream along with your friends. And that's a big grab by your player there. He's the one that got the D earlier, and Germany on a run here. Coming back quite hard. This is a change. Now, what's changed? I think this is the question we have to ask ourselves. What has changed in between these last few points? Has it been the German zone that's come out? Has it been their better effective use of going over the top? What has happened with the Austrians? Has their zone worn them out? They've been playing quite a bit. Yes, they have a lot of legs, but they've been using many of the same players quite a bit of time. They were playing wonderfully at the beginning, and now momentum has shifted to the German side. They've got a lot more energy. Maybe they started out slower. These are the questions that are important on the first day of the tournament to consider, because it matters further on into the tournament. With a young team like this, in tournament play, important tournament play, and still 5 days, 6 days of competition left, you need to know why and how they're performing and what's changed. Because coaches need to take this and players need to take this, and they need to figure this out when they encounter the same issues again. That's a great pull into the corner of the end zone, and that's unfortunate. It's come down to the line on the corner, and that's a trap position. And this is a harder position to get out of, especially with a large male marking, and you end up with a turnover situation like that. The better play there is to take the disc, bring it back to the middle of the field and to the far side. Swing, swing, swing is what coaches tell you, and you absolutely need to swing the play there. Good pressure there on the D. And Austria, and man, something we haven't really seen, and unfortunately an underthrown disc. And there is a call. He's saying you caught it and then you dropped it. And I'm unsure, but I believe the rule is you are allowed to do that if you get the D. I'm unsure if it's that 2013 rules. I know there are viewers out there who know that rule better than I do. Please let us know on Twitter, and I'll be happy to put it out on the air. So it might be a turn. I think the German player might be calling it a turnover, or you might have to keep possession. In either case, Austria appears to have it. They're into a zone. Now Germany is doing a similar zone, but it's not exactly the same. The mid-mid is very far in, and that leaves us over the top throw. You'll see him with his hand up. And it needs to go over the top. That's how you beat a zone. Well, one of the ways you beat a zone. Oh, and there was a beautiful slice there through the middle. And he swung it before. So what's interesting here from a German perspective is they had three ladies there and a fantastic D layout. They had three and a timeout called. Okay, we'll be right back. Just going to check on a few things. Maybe get a little bit of food to eat, but good D from the German side, and they are rolling along now. Thank you to everyone watching the stream. Everything seems to be ticking along now. Big shout out to Leo Sonvelt. I hope I'm saying that correctly. He's been helping out. He's been telling people to clear and reset. Really been doing our support there. Keeping us sane in many ways. Germany setting up in a ISO stack. You can see one handler here at the left side back. You have one isolated player in the middle, and then 4 in the stack in the end zone. Austria going to go play man-on-man on this, but this leaves a wide open over-the-top blade to the close side of the field here. See it? Oh, and that's, oh, it was there for the taking, and he clasps it just too quickly. And back into the zone. This is the zone that's worked. It's 3 ladies, as you'll see up front, and we've got 4 gents in the back. They're not necessarily looking around as much as they should be, and that's one very important thing is when I try to teach zone, I always tell players, look around. You need to be looking around. You know where the disc is. You know it moves when people say up. An isolated player, they're sticking to the zone, and now there are no options other than well, that's a pretty nice option. And what's happening is they're switching their mid back in and out. And a hammer over the top goes just a little bit too far. Now a zone is coming out. No, it looks like they're going man. Austria in man formation, 1-on-1. Okay, we should see this. A huck possibility. There's another player, and he's wide open, and he should get it easily, and he's got the support from a lady there. He holsters it. And now they need help. Oh, and easily grabbed. That was a no-look throw. You really need to pivot when you do that. Up the line. There is a mismatch down the field. And from a defensive perspective. And they're going deep again. He's got lots of space. And that's, in the end, easy. And we get to halftime with Austria leading 9-5. Thank you to everyone who's watched this first half. Thank you for your support. Thank you to the people who did tell me there was something wrong with my stream. I apologize again for misinterpreting your comments. And Richard, I hope you accept my apology in that case. To everyone who's been watching, Leo especially, thank you for watching. I look forward to bringing you the second half here after a 10-minute break. Just very quickly, the one ruling that was made of he gets to keep the disc, and that was the drop after the defensive option. So thanks to Leo for that clarification as well. Okay, we'll see you quite soon.
20 minutes to go.
Just for halftime.
You will get
We're getting ready to come out of halftime shortly. So thank you to Leo, our #1 fan, who several people have now told me is in fact one of the best women's ultimate players. And we do want to give a shout out to her. Now the German women's team, remnant, on the sideline. I think we have some Colombians in the stands. We still have plenty of games going on here that are finishing up. And Austria switching field ends now, getting ready for the second half. They have a 9-5 lead. At one point, this game was 7-1. 7-1. Or 7-1. I hope that is correct. I might see or get a text message shortly letting me know whether or not that was correct. So Leo from the Netherlands, she is watching from there. If you do know her, please go and thank her. So I said 7. I apologize. It's 9-5. 9-5, and it was 7-1 at one point. So again, thanks to Leo. And we are also lucky. I hope you're happy at home. We have seen some big plays here from the German side. And we've especially from some of those players there, or perhaps the gentleman there in the middle of our screen. It's been very big in this game for the German side. The Austrians have really marched in the first half for much of it, and then the Germans woke up. They put a zone on, and an interesting zone as well. And I think we're going to see more of that now here in this half. Looks for the huck. He's got it, but there's defensive pressure. Oh, and a huge grab, but he's being called out. And the player's a little bit just hurt, but he's seems to be okay. Austrian player checking up on him now. And it's considered a point.
99-12.
And on that side, the catch by Samuel Duda. And from Patrick Vysotsnik. The women's team cheering on Deutschland. Sorry, it was. So again, a little bit issue in reporting who actually got that, but it wasn't 99. It was Benjamin Kahn. And the score now 10-5 for Austria. Plenty of time left in this game. About 20 minutes, in fact. Taken well, now in middle position. Has a deep shot, he thought about it. Now the Austrians have gone back to their zone. This was a very effective zone for them. But the Germans have been very effective against it now. And they've got flow, but now they need to keep moving it. There's no handler on this side. No handler. There's no continuation, and that's a bit of an issue. We've got 4 up. Oh, and a good over the top. wanting to throw a hammer or a blade. Good pivot to get it back. Oh, beautiful throw across the top and the side. And that deserves cheers. Good movement by Germany, making it a 10-6 game. Martin was key throughout that point. He was really popping in and out for quite a bit. We've seen him play in the zone and come up and just put a strong force on, but he was popping. And then he came back and he handled. And that's the sort of handler cycling that you want to and you need to see. You need to see them moving in a rotation of any sort, because it creates those upfield options amongst these players that are in a mode to move quickly and change direction. Whereas a strong cut in that goes hard and then comes back out isn't going to work all that well, because the direction is known, the speed is known. You can step in there early and then completely cut it off. You need to have this quick jumping from side to side. So quick little bit of news on Chris Stoddard of the Australian Open team. He does appear to be walking with support though, but appears to be walking slowly. He's still woozy from that head-on-head collision that he had, but he is moving now. Next Gen spoke quite a bit about him and the injury during their live stream. Austria comes in. There's a space over the top, but there's very good coverage there. Germany's playing this good pointing coverage. Austria has not been able to move it quite yet. A lot of side to side, but their handlers are a bit static. And a turn, and that looked like a good turn. Oh, and a drop. This might have been a bit more fluttery than we expected or can see from up here.
Sorry, Hidenius, 37 or 73.
Good movement in this zone area. And what Germany needs to do is they need to switch this zone up a little bit, because Austria seems to be getting comfortable moving against it. There haven't been massive gains yet, and you have a player, as you can see on the top left of your screen, he's actually doing double duty. He's covering the girl at the top and the mid. And eventually the number of passes, percentage-wise, gets too great. Sergei with the disc again, moves it upfield. It's now back to Michael. See that confidence, dumping with the left as well if he needs to. A lot of poachy D in the end zone. Germany's having to move it back, but now they're a little bit trapped on the sideline. They need to do that over the top. This is a zone that they're playing against, and it's very close to the end zone, so it's more compact. Sergei directing it. Good movement into the middle. And it's just a little bit out of reach. And it's tricky down there with the wind. The wind comes flowing through the right side there and has another little bump and puff as the building stops. So it just tends to float a little bit. Timeout called. This is an important one. Game's at 10-6. If Germany gets the turn here, punches it in 10-7, they'll continue with the momentum that they've had the whole game. We do hope you join us for our next game. It is Great Britain versus Australia in mixed in the showcase match here. It's in about 20 minutes. Thank you for all of those that have joined us in this great battle of German-speaking nations. It's been a very interesting match. Technically very interesting to watch. Both of these teams have chemistry. They lack it in some areas though, and they're working up and building up to it. Wind a little bit more steady now. What you're seeing from those flags on the top of your screen, that's about what it feels like up here as well. German women's team now pumping up their squad. Rushing the field, no security here to speak of to take them off, and not that we'd want to. Good energy here from both teams. It's been a very fair contest. Both sides have played well so far once they've gotten moving. And I think that's been the key. Germany started off very slow, perhaps a little bit nervous with their passes. Defense setting up. And we can see a zone. They do want, what they're looking to do here is getting the disc swung and then trap on a sideline. Puck goes up. There's going to be a battle. Oh my goodness, that is fantastic from Sergei. He wanted to send it as well. He's looking for something far out on this side. This is what he wants to do. He wants to move the disc from side to side to get the defense to move. When the defense is dynamic, that's when you find the holes because they can't change direction as quickly. Oh, and that's unfortunate. He saw something that wasn't there. But I think that's one of the most important things. If you're watching this and you're newer, is that you want to keep the defense moving. You want to keep them flowing in a direction with you because then it's easier for you to change direction, very hard for them to change direction. This is where they're now on the line. They want to trap it. And that's what they're doing. They brought their big male handler here to the sideline, and he's not letting her dump. And it ends up being a block, and Austrian player saying he wrapped around you. She hasn't called it. Sergei now lasers it in, and double happiness or bookends, however you want to call it. But there's a little bit of conversation about some contact that they've been having. And Germany, 10-7. That was a hard-fought point by both sides. Austria still in a big lead situation here. About 7 minutes. We might be in a soft cap situation here. So far, so good, I hope, on the stream. Thank you to Bacon for messaging in. Lee Gonzalez, player on Maverick, one of the Canadian teams that will be heading to Nationals this year. Thank you to those watching. I am working, Kevin is working on improving the quality of our internet connection. Once we have a better quality connection, we'll be able to give you a fantastic quality stream. Yes, I don't have multiple camera angles, but I'm working up to that as I can afford it. I will get it. Thank you to those that have donated. Good side-to-side movement here. And she's trapped on the line, and this is the zone that they've re-pulled, and a good blade over the top. I don't think you can ever say anything negative about a blade. There are no expectations for that throw other than to go exactly up and back down. Calling for a swinging it back. Oh, it's a good break. It was straight up, but it was a straight up mark. Oh, and just goes to ground there. And looking deep, Sergei with the disc. There's no motion yet. We need motion, Germany. And a good hammer over the top into space. Takes it confidently, one hand, hucks it. There's pressure. He needs to look. He looks at the last second, exactly when he needed to, and gets the D. Austria now burning time as best as they can, and they should.
Yeah. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't hold it.
Here on the line now, there's going to be a guy coming in. We've seen this from Germany. They bring the pressure. They take three ladies at the front, and then they bring the pressure. It's a good zone. Very smart one. Oh, and it just bounces out of his hands. Sergei playing deep D. And so Germans, they want the swing. They want to get it to a lady. Once it's there, you're going to have a gentleman come in and take the mark. They are trapped, and it's moved well on the sideline. It's just a little bit of give and go. Huck is hard to get out of here. Oh, and that's a good movement as well up there. And that's the trickiness, is that the disc always bounces when it gets here. Now there's two ladies deep, and a timeout called by Germany. This is an important confidence builder for both of these teams. While Germany, with a time cap, is not going to be looking to win this game now, that they can come back from a 7-1 deficit points to a lot of good ability and a good strategy now in the later part of the game. Our next showcase game live stream will be Great Britain versus Australia. Great Britain losing their minds when hearing their names mentioned, which is what we want to hear. Actually, only one player kind of waggled around a little bit. Just having a look, watching them warm up here. Australia, in a surprise loss earlier today, losing to Chinese Taipei. Very unexpected. Chinese Taipei, and I was having a chat with Jimmy Lippert from Sky Magazine about this earlier, is there are spheres of influence in Ultimate. And in East Asia, the style of Ultimate that seems to be played is very much the style we see the Japanese playing in terms of these fantastic low backhand breaks and very fast, quick ground game and lower throws to the ground is what we're really seeing in that game. And that was what we saw in that game from Chinese Taipei. What we're seeing from the Austrians and Germans is a much bigger, floatier huck game. When the disc has gone low to the ground, there's been very good coverage, and they haven't been finding the lanes to throw through as much. We've seen these breaks, though, and these straight-up breaks, and I think one thing that I haven't seen so far that I wish I'd see more of are the foot blocks, or the attempts at the foot blocks. I think I've seen one touch here on the showcase field in the last day and a half, but it would be very interesting to see if we could get, if there are going to be teams that are going to be using the feet and getting the foot blocks into play. Especially those upline breaks, getting a foot in there in front of the disc can shut that down. You don't have to hit it, it's just that you have to let the handler know it was close. And the handler now has to evaluate that risk in every subsequent throw that they make. I might be getting a bit technical for many players here, but having that game of an evaluation in numbers is important, and it's subjective, but it's a feeling that we have as handlers. Big hand block and a bigger hook to the end zone, and a big grab. Is there a call? No call. There was a lot of pressure there. And two big guys battled. He's motioning hammer, but the sort of handler movement we saw earlier wasn't necessarily there, and it was close. We have a tall striker deep. Bladed through the middle, and just a little bit too low. And Christian, who's been very good this whole game, having a bit of a throwaway. Good rescue. Oh, and easily grabbed there. Martin waiting in the middle. He's making a cut now. He's coming back. Goes over the top. I believe I went to Carla, then Martin, and then Christian. Back to Martin. Back to Christian. Sending it through the middle. It's still up. Sorry, I can't see player number, but I think that's Marco. Martin. Christian, that was a good reset. They have the opportunity for resets now. And good reset movement. Ooh, and I think he expected that to be shorter and not to float as much. And a lot of pressure there on that disc. Foul called. I think we might be able to agree that that was ambitious. They hug it out. It's going to be coming back here to the line. It'll be a foul, no contest. And we must realize it's not an intentional foul. Players change all the time as they're cutting. So you can spread out field. Timeout might happen here. It will be a high stall count dump no matter what. Goes across the field, and Austria with a big grab. Picked up, and that was an important grab. Cheers of Aute. Familiar to anyone who's played against Austria. It is a standard cheer. And now 11-7, I believe, the score. Austria leads. We have a question as to whether we're going to be doing any Venezuela games. Well, if you go to altiapps.com/WU23, and if Venezuela plays on field 3, then yes, we will be doing a game of theirs. Our next, our schedule, I will provide shortly, as well as a few results. We'll have a chat between the games here before the start of the showcase game, which should be in 5 minutes actually. So this should be the last point. Venezuela, 9-6 was the last score I have here against Chinese Taipei. Now, what we heard is that they had some visa issues, which is unfortunate. So they actually took their open and women's teams and put them together into the mixed team. And so we should see a very strong team out of Venezuela. A very energetic and spirited defense here. Oh, and just a little bit. Now, when you make your cuts, ins and outs, not necessarily the best. It's better to slice across the field. And Austria finish off the game 12-7 against Germany. That game was A5 versus A4, so a one position upset. And the game's not over yet. Or it is. German coach calling that it's done. Thank you for joining us here for this game. I apologize again to Richard. Absolutely my fault. Please, no nasty messages to him. He was just pointing out some issues with the stream. And as always, there can be some differences in interpretation of certain